are also grateful that the president has saw it fitting to give him that respect. And we think it will go a long way even for the community of Dube, which that they believed they were part of, and it shaped them politically. It assisted them in bringing up the children. It supported them during the most difficult years as they were going through the Rivonia trial, and also at the time when the family had to go to the island all the time to support him. So we think this recognition is not only for him, as he would usually say, but is for the whole community who has been part of this family all the way. Tate Mlangeni may have been old, but no one can ever be ready for such a tragic loss. I must say, when Tate went to the hospital, he made a comment at the door expressing doubt whether he will come back to the house. And so much as we had just celebrated his 95 years, him not coming back to the house it's like he almost had a feeling that it's like a last day now, I'm leaving this place. It has not been easy, but we are grateful that with support and interaction, and the family is feeling much, much better. I think Comrade Nomvula had reflected on the memorial service that is being planned by the ANC. Partly the cancellation of our meeting yesterday is because there was a planned meeting where we, as the foundation and the family, had to interact with the ANC and hear their arrangements as to what they were thinking of doing. So we're glad that we have found each other. We have agreed on quite a number of things, and definitely on Sunday there will be that virtual memorial service where the family will participate, the foundation will participate. It's a traditional one, which is led by the ANC and the Alliance. And so we are grateful that that has been resolved. It's been taken care of. As you would know, when you talk of an official funeral, we are not really going to be able to give you much information because it's beyond the foundation, it's beyond the family. The state takes over, but the procedures will be shared at the right time formally by the right people, and the presidential team responsible for coordinating the whole funeral service, which is planned for Wednesday, July the 29th. I am with a trustee, Malusi Kikane, of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation. He represents the family and the foundation in the preparatory meetings of both the memorial service of the ANC and the presidential funeral. So we are working together and that nothing falls in between the cracks. I think from the family side, we are happy that the funeral service will be held at the University of Johannesburg, Soweto campus. And of course, one of the things we have emphasized is that we need to adhere to our country's strict COVID-19 regulations. Knowing Tate Mlangeni, he was a sticker to rules and authority. So even during his funeral on Wednesday, we will be happy to be guided to stick to the regulations of COVID-19. As we mourn this gentle giant, our foundation has a plea, and its plea is that the powers that be ensure that the procurement processes around Babu Mlangeni's burial ceremony are handled in a transparent manner to portray the integrity and dignity that he stood for. It will be appreciated that we do not hear of any irregularities post the funeral, and that will mean that Tate Mlangeni's integrity would have followed him to his final resting place. We are emphasizing this because sometimes there have been concerns with how preparations for state funerals are handled, and some things, people get concerns about prices and so on. And we have this huge responsibility to say, let's carry his legacy, what he stood for, what he believed in. Let's make sure we are that voice. I think we also appreciate the messages that we have received from the City of London, which had honored Dr. Mlangeni with the Freedom of the City of London in 2018. Some of you might be aware of that. The international leaders also sent their condolences, and we appreciate all the encouraging words. When we talk international leaders, Tate Mlangeni, attracted his suffering and persecution, attracted the whole world, and people have been in touch with the family, sending their messages of support and condolences. But we are grateful that, we are at the point where everybody is saying he held his integrity till the last. So the family and the foundation will continue with the charity work that he was passionate about, but also we have this burden of saying, how do we ensure that younger generations understand who he was, what he stood for, what he did, how he did it, and what made him to stand out compared to other leaders. So the legacy part is going to be our headache beyond this week. He was also, Tate Mlangeni was passionate about the development of the sport of golf among disadvantaged communities. And so those are some of the things. For him, it was a way of strengthening the character of a young person to be involved in sport. So we will, through partnerships with the assistance of all of you, we will ensure that we continue that legacy. Of course, what the inequalities of COVID-19 deeply hurt Tate Mlangeni. When we celebrated his 95 years, he was saying, this is not the South Africa we fought for. We don't want young people to be running around chasing food parcels, soups. And so we were hoping to work with him on an economic adjustment post-COVID-19, which will begin to empower young people differently. So we thank you very much. Malus is here representing us in all the important meetings. We will be happy. I don't know whether you want to make input first or you'll wait for their questions, Malus.
We're fine, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Just a few questions. Start with you, Abungile Kaya. Stay in that order.
Thank you so much. Abongile Tumago, SABC News. We understand that the former president of the ANC, Utadu Jacob Zuma, will be saying a few words virtually in remembering Utadu Andrew Mlangeni. My understanding, and from what I would hear him say about the alleged corruption that Utadu Jacob Zuma was involved in. So the fact that he will be participating in a platform of this nature about Utadu Mlangeni, the family, the foundation, your view on that, are you happy? Thank you.
Okay. Are we writing questions somewhere?
Should I answer the question?
Yeah.
Let's answer
Yeah.
the content will come to the
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, just to say, our involvement as a family is limited to the memorial and the funeral. All other extraordinary activities that are taking place to honor Andrew Mlangeni are not at the behest of the family, and we've got no control over that. That is something that the ANC and other comrades and so on have arranged, but it's not an initiative that is driven by the family. I hope that answers your question.